Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the second part of What If Deku Had a RPG Quirk. I hope you enjoy. Link to the original story in the description. This story, unlike the others, is my original fanfic. That being said, it will be a slow release. I will post as I make new chapters, but they won't be frequent or a stable release schedule. Author notes: hello everyone, Zero here. Sorry for how long this took. A combo of life stuff, minor writer's block, burnout, and just wanting to play Minecraft. For the burnout, I think I will start one or two more FICs and work on whatever one is calling me during what will be daily scheduled writing sessions. That with this, hopefully I will be able to put out stories more. Also made some minor changes to things for this chapter that I am working on changing for Chapter 1. Chapter 2, Enter Party Member 1. Aldura Junior High After School. POV Izuku. I tap on the dungeon map section and open the window. Filter. I think, and the box pops up. Level 1 Dungeons. When I think that, all but the 5 dots from earlier appear. I tap on the closest one and a pop-up appears. Upper Muzutafu Sewer, LVL1. Okay, this is definitely the closest one. I think determining the best route to the dungeon. Okay, so it is only 3 blocks away. I gather my things up and stand to leave. Where do you think you're going, Deku? A voice says, and I look up to see Katsuki's lackeys. Katsuki is in the room but isn't with them. I look at his info box. Yoshimura Tadashi, LVL3. HP 200/200. Oh right, that is his name. I think. What do you want, Yoshimura? I say, sounding done. Come on, you have been let off light today. We can't let the Quirkle dash. Yoshimura starts with a wicked grin. Before he can finish, I have my palm out. Wind sphere. I say, and a ball of wind appears. Now that I am not in combat, I look at it and it is mostly see-through, spinning in a clockwise direction. It has a slight green coloring to make it visible. Newsflash, I am not quirkless, never was. It finally decided to start working yesterday. I watch as Yoshimura steps back. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Katsuki raise an eyebrow. You still need to be reminded your place, right, Bakugo? Yoshimura says. I see Katsuki give him a confused look. Who do you think you are? Fingers trying to infer what I want. I am pretty sure at this point your place is below Deku, so go ahead and find your place if you want. The damn nerd knows he is below me. Katsuki says, and I turn to him and his info box appears. Bakugo Katsuki LVL, question mark. Question mark. Question mark. HP question mark. Question mark. Question mark / question mark. Question mark. Question mark. I blink at the sight. Is he too high level for me to analyze him? Okay, it makes sense for him to be so high level. He has been using me and everyone around him for training. I think letting the wind sphere fade. I notice no one is paying attention to me. I move to the door and out. The only one noticing me leaving is Katsuki. Somewhere in Muzutafu. POV question mark. Question mark. Question mark. I walk down the sidewalk exploring the city. I will stay in for a while. My parents found a super cheap apartment in the area, so much to the point they decided to jump on it and send me to this city a year early, so I will finish junior high at a different school. There is a good target. I hear to my side as I pass an alley, and then I feel someone grab me and pull me into the alley. I am shoved back against a wall and look to see 7 men around me. Okay, girly, give us all the money you have. One of the guys says. I don't have any on me. I say with a meek voice. It is true, I don't have any on me. I didn't have any extra to spend, so I left all of that I had at my apartment nearby. Oh really, what do you guys say about that? The same guy says. I look at the men. They all are dressed like typical thugs with greasy hair. The one who has been talking is wearing a pair of sunglasses. Hey boss, she may not have money, but I can think of some uses for her to earn us something, a different thug says. Oh, let's hear your ideas. The boss says. Girl, what is your quirk? The thug says. Why does her quirk matter? The boss asks. I know some guys that will buy up people her age for quirk breeding. The thug says. Oh really? The boss says. Sounding interesting, and I feel like I am going to cry. I just wanted to explore the area, now I am about to be kidnapped. I think. Hey boss, I know we are talking about selling her, but why not try the merchandise? Quirk breeders won't care if she is a virgin or not. A different thug asks. Oh, I like your thinking, break her to make it easier for the breeders. The boss says with a laugh. All the thugs start to laugh and an opening appears, and I run back towards the entrance of the alley. Please someone, anyone. I think as I reach the entrance of the alley and immediately see someone right there. He has messy green hair and green eyes that show confusion. Help! I say. Nearby a few moments earlier. POV Izuku. I open the dungeon map. Okay, seems like it is only a little further. I think. I look up to see a floating text box above a manhole in front of an alley. Oh, there it is. I think, focusing on the text in the box. Upper Muzutafu Sewer, LVL1. Entrance. I walk forward and stand before the entrance. There seems to be a rippling circle like was in the back of my closet directly on the manhole cover. I hear something to my side and turn. A moment later, a girl my age comes out of the alley. Her hair is an auburn color along with her eyes, which are full of fear. Help! She says, and I don't even think I motion behind me, and she moves to hide behind me. Almost as soon as she is behind me, 7 thugs come out of the alley behind her. All 7 are men ranging from late 20s to 40s. Well, it looks like the bitch found a little protector. A guy with sunglasses in his 30s says, "Look boy, just hand the girl over and we will let you go." One of the guys says, and I give him a glare. Analyze. I think and see they are level ? Okay, so these thugs aren't first-time offenders. I guess they at least fight a lot. I think. Need a way out. Hey boss, maybe the boy would be more willing if we let him have a go. Another guy says. What do you say, boy? Want to have a chance to pound the girl? You're probably thinking about it with how close she is. The boss says. These guys are terrible. I think and look at the ground and see the dungeon entrance. Guide, can I take people into dungeons? After thinking that, a text box appears. Yes. I have a way to get us out of here. Do you trust me to save you? I say. Yes. She says without hesitation. I grab her wrist. Like we would let you. Dust the boy we are taking and selling the girl. The boss says as I start to kneel, and I notice a few of the thugs getting ready to use their quirks. My hand touches the manhole. Goodbye. I say right before we disappear, leaving the thugs looking at the spot we were. Upper Muzutafu Sewer, LVL1. Okay, we should be safe now. I say, letting the girl's wrist go, and turn to her. Now that we are safe, I see her info box. Yararaka Ochako, LVL1. HP 175/175. Thank you so much, I was so scared. Ochako says with a bow. By the way, my name is Yararaka Ochako. Ochako says after standing up. No problem, I am Midoriya Izuku. I say, giving her a smile. At this point I get a good look at her. She has shoulder-length auburn hair and a bob cut with 2 long bunches of hairbangs framing her face. She has auburn eyes that have a kind warmth to them. Her face is on the rounder side with what look like permanent pink blush marks on her cheeks. She is wearing a simple pink button-up blouse, the sleeves end just before her elbows. It is tucked into a black skirt that goes halfway down her thighs with black leggings underneath. Her shoes seem to be a comforter pair of brown shoes. This girl is very cute. I think and know the only reason I am not a blushing mess is because of my quirk. Can I ask where we are? Ochako asks. Upper Muzutafu Sewer, LVL1. I say, and she looks at me more confused. My quirk is pretty much some sort of RPG mechanic thing. We are in a dungeon. It was the only thing that could get us out of there without them being able to follow. Oh, that's kinda cool, she says, looking around the room. Yeah, this is a starting room. I think it is safe to wait here, I say, noticing two new menu options, party and quests. Wait, that one probably unlocked after I woke up and I just missed it, I think. As soon as I think that, a text box appears. Yep. Well, I guess I was figuring things out right after waking up. I mean, I forgot about my wardrobe. I blink. Oh, I can change out of my uniform. Wait, you think? Ochako says, surprised. Yeah, I don't think any enemies will enter here. They haven't yet, so I think we should wait here a bit, I say, clicking on the new party option. A window opens. Then a pop-up before I can examine the window. Welcome to the party menu. This menu will allow you to invite others to join you and have access to some of the features you do. You unlocked this ahead of level by bringing someone into a dungeon with you. As such, only they can be invited, and you will only have a slot for them until the original unlock level. Oh, I think, and turn to Ochako. Hey Uraraka-san, it seems like by bringing you in here I can add you to my party, I say, and she turns to me. Really, how would that work? She asks. 1 second, I say. Okay guide, I realized how vague that was. Can you please explain more? I think, and a text box appears. Most systems will be available at this point. Unavailable functions are also unavailable to you. They can gain levels, boost stats, do quests, and have their own inventory. There will also be extra inventory added for party members to share equipment. Okay, looks like you will gain access to pretty much everything I do. Wait, now that I think about it, this might not be of use to you, I say, realizing something. Oh, why wouldn't it be of use? She says. Well, I don't know what you want to do. For most career options this will not be useful, I say. Well, I want to be a hero, so will it? She says. Oh, then it will be great for you, I say. Then sign me up, she says with a smile. Okay, since you told me, it is only fair I am going to be a hero too, I say, and look at the party screen. I see 5 smaller boxes in the window. The top one has a crown and my name, level, HP, SP, and MP bars. The one below it shows her name. I tap it and a pop-up appears in my vision. Now inviting Uraraka Ochako. POV Ochako. I watch Izuku pressing mid-air and then something appears in front of me. Midoriya, Izuku has invited you to join his party. Accept/decline. Oh, it really seems like a RPG. I think, and reach out and press accept. Things start to pop up in the corners of my vision. On the right upper side. HP 175/175. SP 100/200. MP 225/225. Stats. Inventory. Skills. Magic. Quest. Dungeon map. Party. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Info. Oh, cool, I say, tapping on stats. A new window appears. Uraraka Ochako. LVL1. EXP 0/1000. Title, not applicable. End, 15. AGI, 25. STR at 10. Dex, 10. Int, 20. WIs, 25. Cha, 20. Luke, 10. Debuffs, malnourished. Malnourished. Oh, hopefully this is something only I can see. I think, seeing a frown on Izuku's face, then he turns to me. POV Izuku. I see 2 boxes appear on the left side of my vision. The top one is me with the crown from the party menu, the other is Ochako with a symbol next to her portrait with a red downward arrow. I click on the symbol. Malnourished. The person doesn't have enough nutrients in their body. To temporarily cure, the person must eat a nourishing, filling meal. To fully cure must be done consistently over a period of time based on how long the user had the effect. Negative effects cut SP by 50%. Physical stat level 50% slower. Okay. No. I think turning to her and notice her flinch. I know I am frowning, but I don't feel like smiling. I walk over to her. I tap my inventory and watch it open. Do you like bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches? I ask. Yes. Ochako says, confused. I tap on it and hand her the container, then I click on a container of mixed fruits I made after dinner yesterday. A container of onigiri. A container of steamed broccoli covered in cheese. Finally, my water bottle with a glass cup. What? She says as I sit down, placing everything between us. Sit, eat, we can't have you with that debuff. I don't know, but it might get you killed. I say. I can't. This is so much food. Ochako says. Uraraka, the debuff is going to hinder your growth and is already making you weaker. I say. But this had to cost you a lot. She says. It didn't cost that much. Uraraka, please sit and have a meal. I say, giving her a pleading look. Okay, fine. Ochako says after a couple more moments. You won't regret this. I say, pulling out a set of disposable chopsticks, handing them to her. Thanks for the meal. She says, opening the sandwich container. I pull out my own sandwich container with ham and Swiss on an onion bread with a little mayo. I also pulled out some onigiri. I used a red bean paste for the ones I gave Ochako. Mine had grilled salmon flakes. Oh my, these are so good. She says as she finishes one of the sandwiches from the container that holds 2 full sandwiches. I am glad you like it. I say before taking a bite from my onigiri. I watch her smile with her eyes closed as she eats a little of everything. The other sandwich and the 2 onigiri in her container, she uses the chopsticks to grab a few different fruits and a couple pieces of the broccoli with cheese. I see the debuff change to a gray, meaning it will allow her to gain stats fully and her stamina to return to normal. That was good, thank you, I will find a way to pay you back. Ochako says. You will pay me back by being my teammate while we get ready for entrance exams. I say. Okay, what school are you aiming for? She says with a happy, bubbly voice. UA High. I say. Oh, me too. She says with a smile that seems to light up the room. Okay, we should figure out your magic affinities. I say. Oh, that sounds so cool. She says, and her hand presses something I can't see and a window pops up. I move to stand beside her to see the same partial circle with words from yesterday. Determining affinities. Affinities confirmed. Superior affinities, gravity. Major affinities, celestial/ice. Minor affinities, healing/enhancement. Spells gained. Universal, tiny gravity zone. Universal, starshot. Universal, starlight. Universal, ice shard. Universal, healing hand. Universal, single defense buff. Tiny gravity zone creates a 10-meter radius area where the user can either double gravity or remove it, will cut MP by 50 points. Starshot shots a small star-like light, does 1 point of celestial damage. Starlight makes a floating light source that follows the user or whoever it is cast on, proving light in the darkness, cuts user's MP by 5 while active per person used on. Ice shard creates a small piece of ISE the user can shoot. Does 1 point of ice damage. Single defense buff targets one person and boosts their defenses. Cuts user's MP by 50 points. Healing hand LVL1, a weak healing spell, healed 1 HP a second at the cost of 5 MP a second. Spells are activated by thinking about them. Superior affinities cuts cost of spells to 1% and allows use of all spell rarities no matter level. Major affinities cut the cost of spells to 25% and allows use of spells 2 rarities higher. Minor affinities cuts the cost of spells to 50% and allows use of spells 1 rarities higher. Oh, you have an affinity for healing as well. I say. Will it work on people outside of your quirk? Ochako asks. A text box appears. Yes. Okay, then this will be great for rescue efforts. She says happy. Okay, now we need to figure out a weapon for you. I say, opening my inventory. Weapon. Ochako says. We are in a RPG dungeon. Punching and kicking won't do too much, but having a sword or something unless you have a highly combative quirk. I say, tuning to her. Wait a second, what is your quirk? I say. Oh, with these. Ochako says, putting her hand up, showing pads on her fingers. Are those cat toe beans? I say before thinking. They are similar I guess, but when I place all of them from one hand on it will cancel the gravity. I call it zero gravity. I know it isn't that good of a queer. Ochako starts. What are you talking about? That is an awesome quirk. It will work so well for rescue situations. Maybe that is why gravity magic is superior for you. I say, turning back to my inventory and clicking on the copper scythe. Universal, copper scythe, a scythe with a 5-foot wooden handle and 3-foot blade made of copper. 5 slashing damage. Scaling STRCDXA. It looks like there are no requirements to wield. Tapping it again. Would you like to equip this item? Yes/no. Yes. I think in the scythe appears in my right hand when a text box appears. Stats not meet to one-hand scythe. I figured. I think holding it with both hands and look at it. Analyze. With that thought, a text box appears. Universal, copper scythe, a scythe with a 5-foot wooden handle and 3-foot blade made of copper. 5 slashing damage. Scaling STRCDXA. Requirements, 2-hand, STR 10DX10. 1-hand, STR 15DX10. Dual wield, STR 30DX10. Should have figured. I think. I got 5 points from the dungeon earlier. I tap on stats. Midoriya Izuku. LVL1. EXP 231/1000. Title, not applicable. End, 20. AGI, 15. STR at 10. Dex, 10. Int, 28. Wis, 25. Cha, 10. Luke, 10. Attribute points, 5. 2 hours of studying and a day of school and only 3 INT points. Then again, they are some of my highest stats. I think. Apply all attribute points to strength. I watch things change. Midoriya Izuku. LVL1. EXP 231/1000. Title, not applicable. End, 20. AGI, 15. STR, 15. Dex, 10. Int, 28. Wis, 25. Cha, 10. Luke, 10. Attribute points, 0. Okay, that works. I think moving to hold the scythe with one hand. So you decided on a scythe? Ochako says. Yeah, it was calling me for some reason, though I think I want to try out using 2 when I get the chance. I say, testing the weight of the weapon. Oh well, what do you have for me? Ochako asks. I don't think cestus would work for you. Honestly, I would say something heavy, preferably 2-handed. I say, then tap on copper great hammer. Universal, copper gretamer. A large hammer with a 1-foot height by 1 foot width by 2 foot length. With a 5-foot wooden handle. 10 blunt damage. Scaling, STR at DEX, F. I tap on the box. Would you like to equip this item? Yes/no. Can I just have it appear in front of me? I think in the equip box disappears and a new one appears. Would you like to remove this item from the inventory? Yes/no. Yes. I think in the great hammer appears head on the floor and handle in the air. This is a simple copper great hammer. I start before she squeals. I get a hammer. Ochako says, grabbing the massive hammer, it lights up pink, then she lifts it one-handed. And it is well within my weight limit. She says, happily swinging the hammer. I guess her strength is high enough to handle it. I think, and a box appears. Under the effects of her zero gravity, quirk strength requirements are removed. Oh, that makes sense. I think. Wait, you can earn money with your quirk. Ochako says all of a sudden, and I see a pop-up in front of her. I walk over and stand beside her to see the daily quest notification. Daily quest. Basic fitness. 10 push-ups. 10 sit-ups. 10 squats. 1 kilometer jog. Reward. 25 EXP. 1000 yen. 5 attribute points. I blink and frown. That's odd. I say. Oh, so there is no money. Ochako says, and I pick up a little disappointment in her voice she is trying to hide. No, the money is a thing we will earn a bit completing this dungeon. Your daily quest has something mine doesn't. I say. Wait, what is added? Ochako says, sounding interested. I don't need to do squats. I say with a frown, and a box appears in front of me. Squats were determined not to be effective for your fighting style. When your fighting style is determined, the quest will change. Okay, that's a thing. Ochako says. How about we do the things that aren't the jog? We can probably get that done once we are out. I say. That sounds like a plan, and we will definitely have been in here long enough for those guys to have moved on. Ochako says, and we move to do the exercises. Later. Okay, that was a nice light workout. Ochako says, stretching and grabbing her new hammer while I look at a wall. Why am I looking at a wall? Well, after finishing the workout, we both had Ochako started to do the workout she had, and it felt wrong to watch her do squats, so I chose to look at a wall while read. Why did you do this quirk? I think. A box appears. With her hammer, it was determined leg strength was useful. The workouts will change to best strengthen her. You okay, Midoriya? Ochako says. Yeah, well, let's get into this. I say, grabbing my scythe and opening the door, and we are looking into a sewer tunnel. The walkway we are on is 5 meters wide. Oh wow, this is a big sewer and it doesn't smell. Ochako says. It might be the fact the water here is running clear and there is barely any build-up. This seems like it would be a new part of the sewer. I say, using analyze to figure the area around. The entrance. This seems like a fairly straightforward dungeon, Ochako says. If I had to guess, the first few levels of dungeons will be straightforward. The last dungeon I did was a straight line to the boss room, and I had to guess this one will be too. I say, stepping forward for something to rush towards me, to be intercepted by my scythe and sent back. When it lands, I see a rat the size of a Pomeranian. Oh, that's a big rat. Ochako says, bringing her hammer down, and the rat disappears. Yeah, figured I will find things like this. The first dungeon had slimes. I say. What's a magic stone? Ochako says as a pop-up appears before both of us. It is a drop from monsters that will convert to yen when we leave. The larger, the more yen you will get. I say, and watch her do a little happy jump. That is great. Ochako says. About to step forward. I am guessing you need money for something. I say, and she freezes. Oh, please don't judge me. Ochako says. I am not judging, everyone needs money, I am just glad my quirk will help you. No need to feel bad or ashamed about it. I say, and step up beside her, seeing more rats ahead. Analyze. I think. Small sewer rat LVL1. HP 10 tenths. Okay, these things aren't too strong. I think firing 10 wind spheres at the closest rat killing it. Looks like they are only worth about 1 EXP per rat, I say as we start to move forward. This seems too easy. Ochako says bring her hammer down, making a rat disappear. Also very glad these things don't seem to bleed. Ochako says and a text box appears. The first 5 levels are seen as a tutorial and will have easy dungeons without blood to allow people to get used to fighting. Level 6 and up will give more of a challenge and will start having things that can have blood. Okay, odd but good to have a heads up for. I say with Ochako nodding next to me, then she blinks. Oh, there is a door in the wall. Ochako says and I turn to see a wooden door near us. That doesn't seem like a boss room. I say walking over to the door. So we're going in. She says. I am going to need to get used to this girl. I am not used to people being this happy and bubbly. I think giving her a smile. Yeah. I say placing my hand on the door, pressing it to a room with a chest. We step in and nothing happens. So it is just a chest, that is cool. Ochako starts but stops when I strike the chest with my scythe. Okay, it is just a chest. I say happily, stepping up to the chest. What? Ochako says. I played a pre-Quirk game called Dark Souls and some of the chests were monsters that would eat you if you opened them. I say. Oh. She says. It kind of gets to you after a bit. My mom laughed at me for a week when I started poking to-go containers to make sure they wouldn't kill me. I say and hear the laugh I was going for. Did you really do that? Ochako says through her laugh. Yeah, it took me a bit to trust containers again. I say, feeling embarrassed by that. She has a nice laugh. I think. Come on, open the chest. Ochako says, bouncing up to me. Okay. I say, placing my hand on the chest. Items acquired. Cloth, white dress shirt. Cloth, green vest. Cloth, khaki pants. Cloth, leather gloves. Cloth, leather boots. Oh, this looks nice. Ochako says. I turn to her to see her in something different. She was in a pink robe that goes to her ankles. Leather boots with a pink tint, a pair of pink fingerless gloves, lastly she has a pink witch hat that is as wide as she is tall. What do you think, Midoriya? I think it looks nice. I say and go through the new items I got. They went into the wardrobe instead of the slots for armor in the inventory. Oh, that suits you. Ochako says and I look at the image of me in the inventory window. I am wearing a simple long-sleeve button-up shirt. A green vest that is buttoned with 2 buttons, old-fashioned khaki pants. Leather boots with a reddish tint and full leather gloves. Thanks. I say, a little embarrassed. Wait. I think clicking on the leather armor. Would you like to equip leather armor? Yes/no. Yes. I think and a new pop-up appears. Would you like the armor to be hidden? Yes/no. Yes. I think, noticing all the leather armor pieces move to the slots in my inventory but not appear on me. Oh, that is useful. I say. What do you mean? Ochako asks. Oh, I got a set of leather armor in the last dungeon. I just remembered to equip it and it can be hidden. I can feel I am wearing it but it is see-through. I say, stretching a little. Okay, let's go. Ochako says and we continue through the dungeon. 10 minutes later. Why is it only rats? Shouldn't it have more variety? Ochako says, shooting a rat with her starshot spell. It was nothing but slimes in the last dungeon. I say, then tilt my head. Maybe it is because the first 5 levels seem to be tutorial levels. Maybe they will be fairly simple until then. Yeah, oh look, there is another door. Ochako says, pointing forward. I look forward to seeing at the end of the hall is a large door. Oh, it looks like a boss door. I say, stepping forward. Yeah. Ochako says, walking up next to me. I push the door open to see the boss in the room. Is that rat the size of a truck? Ochako shouts. It seems to be. I say, stepping into the room a little. In front of us is a rat as tall as a pickup truck. This is cool and completely expected. Ochako says, standing next to me. The rat turns to us. It is good, our main spells leveled up. I say, summoning a wind sphere, which during the dungeon run leveled up twice, going from 1 damage to 6. Same for Ochako's starshot. Yeah, and I am very happy with mine. Ochako says, firing at the boss. Her attack looks like a shooting star coming from her hand. I charge forward, swinging my scythe. Analyze. I think in the info box appears over the boss. Giant rat LVL1. HP 89/100. I jump back and spin the scythe as if it is natural, redirecting a swing from the boss's tail. You seem to know what you're doing with that thing. Ochako says, slamming her hammer onto the boss's head. I was drawn to it. I say, bring the scythe for a big swing into the side of the rat, then I create a wind sphere and launch it. I notice something in the corner of my eye and charge. I get in between Ochako and the boss's tail, holding my weapon up, blocking the tail. Thanks. Ochako says, and I notice something. Watch this thing, it has small barbs on it that seem to have some liquid on it. I say, pushing it away and charging the boss's head. Watch out. Ochako says, and I roll at the right moment to dodge the tail. Thanks, Uraraka-san. I say, twisting while leaving my roll, striking the boss's face. The words critical appear above the boss with the number 10. I guess crits do double damage. I think. Jumping back. No problem. Ochako says, firing off 5 star shots after they hit the boss, fell to the side and disappeared, leaving a chest behind. No magic stone. Ochako says, frowning. It comes from the chest. What magic stones did you pick up? I say. About 26 of the tiny and 8 of the small. Ochako says, looking at her inventory. Okay, so we don't get the same drops. I got 30 tiny with 4 small. I say, walking towards the chest. They seem to be the most frequent item. Ochako says. Yeah, it is probably because of the yen transfer. I say. You mentioned that. Wait, how much did we earn? Ochako says. I think tiny give 100, small give 1000, and medium that we might get from the chest 10,000. I say, placing my hand on the chest. Upper Muzutafu Sewer, LVL1 complete. Items acquired. Universal, Copper Dagger X2. Universal, Birch Shortbow. Universal Copper Arrow X20. Uncommon, Medium Magic Stone. First time clear rewards. Universal, Basic Recycler. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. 5 attribute points. Additional rewards. 200 EXP. Teleport out. Here we go. I say. Somewhere in Muzutafu. We appear around the manhole we entered from. The good thing is the street is empty, the bad thing is I still have my scythe out, and Ochako her hammer. Okay, we should put these away. I say, opening my inventory, and press the scythe to the window and it disappears into it. Oh, that will be useful. Ochako says, opening her inventory, she puts her hammer into the window, then just stares at the window. Uraraka. I say. How long were we in there? Ochako says. About 40 minutes with the time we ate and did the workout to waste time. We probably ran the dungeon in about 15 minutes. I say, looking at the time on my phone. We earned that much in less than an hour. She says. Yao, do you have time to do more dungeons today, or do you have somewhere to be? I say, looking at her and realize she is still in her witch outfit. Wait, there is more. She says, turning to me. Yeah, we are level 1, there are 5 level 1 dungeons. This is the first one, so we can do 4 more if you have time. I say, and she is in front of me. Yes, I have the time, let's go. She says, making a smile appear on my face. I open the dungeon map and activate the filter for level 1 dungeons. Looks like this is the closest one. I say, tapping on a dungeon dot, and a box appeared. Sakura Hardware Store, LVL1. A hardware store. Ochako says. We should probably change out of these. I say, pulling on the dress shirt. Oh right. Ochako says. I open the inventory window and switch to a light blue tracksuit I own. I turn to see her back in the outfit, but there is a problem. That would be good for walking around, but it would probably be best to jog. I say. Righto, it looks like if we take this path we will take us past my apartment and I can change. Ochako says. Okay, let's go. I say, giving her a smile. Outside of Ochako's apartment. Ochako went into her apartment, leaving me on the sidewalk. Okay, this is surprising. I think, leaning against a light post. As it turns out, Ochako's apartment is next to mine on the opposite side. It is an older apartment building. There are only 1-bedroom apartments here. If she lives here, she might live alone. Then again, people don't move out of this place a lot, seeing as the rent is so cheap and the landlord is such a nice woman. Oh, young Midoriya. A familiar voice says, and I turn to see Small Might. He is wearing a yellow pinstripe suit, several sizes too big for this form. Ah. Sensei, what a surprise. I say, using his hero name seemed like a bad idea. Yes, I wasn't expecting to see you today. I was going to text you later about the training we discussed yesterday. Small Might says. Oh, what do you have? I start when the bubbly girl I was waiting for appears. Midoriya, sorry to keep you waiting. Oh, sorry, did I interrupt something? Ochako says, all of a sudden being there. She has changed into a fairly bland tracksuit that is pink with black lines along the seams and cuffs. Oh well. I say, analyze. I think, subconsciously looking at Small Might. Yagi Toshinori, LVL, question mark. Question mark. Question mark. HP, question mark. Question mark. Question mark / question mark. Question mark. Question mark. This is Yagi-sensei. He is someone who chose to help me prepare for UA. I say to Ochako and turn to Toshinori. Yagi-sensei, this is Uraraka Ochako. She is a... I turn back to Ochako. Friend? I ask, not sure if we are friends or not. Yep, you're my friend. Ochako says with a smile. I met her earlier, helped her with a situation, and she ended up joining me in a dungeon, and now she is involved in my quirk. I say. Ah, is she looking to be a hero as well, perhaps? Toshinori asked. Yep. Ochako says with a smile. An idea appears in my head. Hey Yagi-sensei, could she join me for my training? We are already doing dungeon runs together. I think some extra training might do her good. I say, and he takes on a thinking expression, and Ochako has a look between confused and excited. Young Uraraka, would you want that? Toshinori says. If it will help me with being a hero, then yeah. Ochako says, doing an energetic fist pump. Then both of you meet me at Takoba Municipal Beach Park at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Toshinori says. That's early. Ochako says nervously. You will need to be up that early to do what needs to be done. Toshinori says. Okay. Ochako says. Takoba Municipal Beach Park isn't that far away. I say. Oh, that's good. Ochako says. Alright, we should probably go, we have 4 more dungeons to hit today. I say. You have brought that up a couple times, what do you mean by dungeons? Toshinori says. Oh, they are areas made by my quirk with enemies in that for me and those in my party to level up. I say. Your quirk is going to make it hard to make a training plan. First, we don't know how your quirk will affect your strength. Now you have dungeons that will take time but will help you grow. Toshinori says, rubbing his chin. We will probably need to adjust the plan as we go. Probably. I say. I need to go have a good day, young Midoriya, and young Uraraka. Toshinori says, walking past us, going on his way. This is going to suck. Ochako says when Toshinori is out of sight. Ha! I say, turning to her. Oh, I am not exactly a morning person. She says. I mean, it will probably be good to get used to it for when we are heroes. You don't plan on working only in the afternoon. I say. No, I don't. I just thought I would have time for that. She says. I can understand that. I woke up late this morning and found my first dungeon and almost was late to school because of it. I say, giving her a smile. Oh, not a morning person either. She says. You could say that I am quick to wake up doesn't mean I want to get up. I say. 5 more minutes knowing you won't be going back to sleep. She says. Yep, let's get going with a light jog. I say, starting off at a jog in a moment. She is next to me, keeping up on the jog. Sakura Hardware Store. This place seems old. Ochako says, looking at the store in front of us. Because it is. I believe it has been here even before Quirks emerged. I say, looking at the store. Do you see the dungeon entrance? I say, looking at the front of the building. What am I looking for? She asks. There should be a floating text box with ripples somewhere below it, like you tossed a stone into a still lake. I say. Maybe it is inside. She says. You're probably right. I say, and we enter the store. Good afternoon, how can I help you? An old man behind the counter says. My Quirk is leading us here for something. If we need help, we will ask. I say, and the old man nods. Okay, kiddos, I understand Quirks do weird things. Take your time. The old man says. Midoriya, I found it. Ochako says, and I turn to see the ripples on the end of some shelves with nothing on it. Good eye, Uraraka. I say, walking towards the ripple. Before you do anything, this won't affect my store, will it? Because if so, I will have to stop you with the whole Quirk use laws. The old man says. It shouldn't be that my Quirk will take us into what seems to be a pocket dimension that won't affect the outside world. I say. Then it will fall into a gray area with Quirk use laws. Why do you want to enter these pocket dimensions? He says. They are an effect of my Quirk inside them. We can train. Both of us are looking to go to UA. I say. Then you have my full permission to go ahead with your training. He says with a smile. I touch the ripple and Ochako and I disappear from the store. Sakura Hardware Store, LVL1. We appear in a simple room with wooden walls. This is probably the nicest safe room yet. I say, examining the room. Yeah, the last one had cinder block walls. Ochako says. Oh yeah, did you complete the quest? I say, tapping on the quest option for it to open and show a red dot in the corner of the box for the daily quest. I tap it for a box to appear. Daily quest. Basic fitness. 10 out of 10 push-ups. 10 out of 10 sit-ups. 1 kilometer per 1 kilometer jog. Reward. 25 EXP. 1000 yen. 5 attribute points. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Daily quest complete. Would you like to claim rewards? Yes/no. Yes. I think. You gain 25 EXP. Items acquired. 1000 yen. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. 5 attribute points added. Yeah, it completed. Thanks for reminding me. Ochako says, and I turn to see her back in her mage uniform. Oh, you like that? I say, change to the outfit I got. Yeah, it just feels in theme, I guess. She says. Pulse is pretty comfortable. You know, I think I understand this outfit is pretty comfortable for me. I say, getting my weapon out. Why did you choose a scythe as your weapon? She asks, pulling her hammer out. Not sure, I just felt drawn to it while looking through the limited weapons I have. I say, looking at her. Oh well, you used it like a natural in the last dungeon. Do you have any practice with it? She asks, giving me a friendly smile. Nope. First time I used it actually. Today is a lot of first for me now that I think of it. I say, pulling out my water bottle and taking a long drink. What do you mean? She asks, moving around me a little while keeping her eyes on me. Earlier I did my first dungeon. Then for the first time I stood up to a bully and had them back down. Then I talked to you, being the first girl I have talked to outside my mom I can remember. Then the first time using my scythe. Also maybe consider the first time having a friend in a long time. I say. Wait, what? That's a lot. She says. Up until yesterday afternoon my quirk only put now loading in the corner of my vision. I say. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, you said the first time talking to a girl? She asks. Well, everyone thought I was quirkless even when I kept correcting them. But that caused me to be a social outcast. I say. Oh, I am so sorry, that sounds horrible. She says. Not your fault, you're my friend now, so improvement just by meeting you. I say, giving her the warmest smile I can. I see her face go red for some reason and she backs up a bit. Well, that's good, let's go. She says, walking towards the door to the dungeon. POV Ochako. Okay, what was that about? I felt nervous at that smile all of a sudden. I mean, it was cute on him. Wait, what am I thinking? I just met him, not thinking like that. I think as I make it to the door, pushing it open, I see a straight hallway with shelves full of tools. Oh, this is interesting. I say, walking to the shelf and touching it. Item found. Universal, generic Phillips head screwdriver. Would you like to take this item? Yes/no. Oh, apparently these shelves have items. I say, looking over my shoulder at Izuku. What did you find? Izuku asks. Just a Phillips head screwdriver. I say. This is a low-level dungeon. Does this mean we will get items based on the store we are in? He asks, and a text box appears in front of him. I can't read it. Just see it as there the words only seem to appear on the front. I move to see it, and when I get next to him I see it. Yes. Well, that answers that. I say. Wonder what stores we will have access to. I think, and then I look down the tunnel and see something. In front of us is something with the shape of an iguana, which is mechanical with yellow plastic, and where its nose and mouth should be is a drill. POV Izuku. Hey Midoriya, look ahead of us. Ochako says, and I look forward to seeing the creature ahead of us. Analyze. I think, looking right at the monster, and a box pops up. Drillguana LVL1. HP 10/10. Okay, so it has the same amount of health as the rats. I say, walking forward and swinging my scythe. I watch a 3 appear above it, confusing me. Do these things have slashing resistance? I think, taking a couple steps back. I summon a wind sphere and watch only 1 damage being done. Resistance to wind is well okay. Looks like these things are resistant to my scythe, not immune, but I will be dealing less damage along with my wind magic. I say. Then watch Ochako bring her hammer down on the monster with no damage reduction. Crushing damage seems pretty effective. She says, placing the handle of her hammer over her shoulder. Yeah, maybe I should try fire magic. I say, tilting my head. You have fire magic? She asks. Minor affinity, but now it seems like I should work with it. I liked having the major discount on use, but it might not always be useful. I say, summoning an ember to my hand. It is a green flame the size of a golf ball. Oh, pretty, she says as I let it go out. Let's get moving. I say, turning forward to see several more drill lizards of different body shapes. Yeah. Ochako says, walking forwards, and swings her hammer at the closest one, smashing it to pieces. You know the fact that all creatures drop magic stones. It makes full clearing dungeons worth it. I say as the screen saying it was added appears and disappears quickly. Yeah, so let's not hold back on clearing every dungeon, she says, pumping her fist. She did that a lot in the last dungeon and a couple times after. She seems to like it. Honestly, the way she does it with the smile she gives is really cute. I think and sends several blasts of ember at the enemies as we move forward. Hey, there is a door in the wall, she says, and I smile at her enthusiasm. We walk to the door. Opening it in the middle of the room is a chest. Hey, you want to open it this time? I say, giving her a smile. Yes, she says, and pretty much bounces over to the chest. She touches it, then before a text box appears she takes the link, gets an item from a chest stance. When I see that, I let out a laugh and she starts to giggle. We are like that for a minute before I see the text box. Items acquired. Universal, generic wrench set. Universal, generic basic electric drill. Universal, generic drill bit set. Universal, generic circular saw. Universal, generic router. Universal, generic router bits. Universal, box of 100 screws. Universal, box of 100 bolts. Universal, box of 100 nuts. Looks like this dungeon gives items for woodworking. I say, opening my inventory, and click on the party inventory option that is there. It has a lot of empty boxes at the bottom which shows how much it can hold. 0/5000. That is a lot of room. I think moving things I don't need in my inventory into the party inventory. I notice things appear and see Ochako with some windows open. Putting things in the party inventory. I say, she turns and gives me a smile. Yeah, I don't need this in my inventory. It is interesting to see things stack in this, she says, and I look to see she is right. Instead of taking slots, it changed to X hashtag. Yeah, that will be useful, I say, closing my inventory. Yay, let's go, she says, and we step out of the room to see a lot of the lizards. Okay, I have never noticed things respawning in dungeons, I say. Enemies don't respawn while you are in a dungeon. Okay, so they aren't respawning, there are just a lot of them, I say. Let's go get those stones, Ochako says, charging forward. Okay then, I say, smiling, and charge in behind her. 9 minutes later. Oh, here is the boss door, Ochako says, coming up to the door. There were twice as many enemies as the last dungeon, but I am sure it is half as long, I say, walking up beside her. Yeah, we will get a lot from this dungeon, she says, doing her fist pump thing. Yep, let's see this boss, I say, and we push on the door. Maybe a big drillzard, she says, and the door fully opens to show the boss. It has a lizard-like body, but it is bipedal and about the size of an adult. Its head is like the others, but instead of hands it has drills coming out of its wrists, and the last foot of its tail is a drill tap. Oh, that looks so cool, I say, seeing the boss. Good thing you leveled Ember a bit, Ochako says with a smile as we move into the room. Yeah, let's go, I say. Analyze. I think having its box appear. Why do I need to analyze for the boss box to appear? Drillzerman LVL1. HP 100/100. I summon an ember and throw it at the boss. As soon as it hits, the boss turns to me and lets out what I assume is its roar, but it sounds like a revving chainsaw. I watch Ochako get in range and swing her hammer up, hitting it, making its head go up. I look at the box again. Drillzerman LVL1. HP 76/100. I know I leveled up my side skill to 3 and got to 15 damage, but was unable to level it up. Maybe I should have kept attacking with the side even though it did less damage. I think tossing another ember in charge. I feel something and roll forward right as its right hand passes where my head was. Skill gained, detect. Okay, I need to look into that later. I think moving in and swinging my scythe after hitting it, I jump back and an idea pops into my head. I went back a good bit back. Uraraka, I am trying something, be careful. I say and toss my scythe up. For some reason I point my palms toward each other out of instinct and activate Ember and Wind Sphere at the same time. Between my hands a perfectly round sphere of green fire appears, the wind sphere at both, feeding the flame, making it stronger and keeping it contained in a perfectly round sphere. I toss it and my hand moves, catching the shaft of my scythe. I spin it twice to take control back of it from gravity. I watch the sphere hit the boss and deal 20 damage. The boss looks up then fades away. Wait, my wind sphere does 6 damage. My ember does 6 damage, how did it do 20? I think certain spells can be combined to make exceptionally stronger spells. Okay. I think watching Ochako run from the other side of the room at me. That was awesome. Ochako says, getting really close to me. You threw your scythe in the air and then cast that awesome fire spell. When did you get that? Actually, that was a combination of wind sphere and ember. I say and smile at her. Oh, you can do that. She says. Apparently. I say. Then notice something by my name on the party portraits. It is a shield with a green up arrow. Uraraka, are you casting defense up on me? Yeah, it has been gaining levels along with giving my buff affinity stronger. She says and looks to the side. Thanks, and that's a good idea. I should probably do that with my tiny physical boost. I say and open my inventory, putting my scythe away and switching out of my outfit. Yeah, that is probably a good idea. She says, doing the same. Okay, let's get our loot. I say, walking towards the chest for Ochako to charge by me to do the Link stance again after touching the chest. You were holding yourself back in the last dungeon, weren't you? Yep. She says, and I look at the dungeon loot. Sakura Hardware Store, LVL1 complete. Items acquired. Universal, copper hatchet. Universal, copper lumber axe. Universal, copper pickaxe. Uncommon, medium magic stone. First time clear rewards. Universal, woodworking table. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. 5 attribute points. Additional rewards. 200 EXP. Teleport out. Sakura Hardware Store. We appear where we entered. Ah, you two are back. How did that go? The old man from before says. Yeah, we finished the dungeon. I say, giving the man a wave. Well, that's good, so probably best to move on. The old man says, and we head outside. Okay, where is the next one? Ochako says, and I pull up the dungeon map and look at the closest incomplete dungeon. Rin's Bookstore, LVL1. It is a bookstore that my mom and I frequent. I say, starting to walk towards the bookstore. Oh, that will be nice to know where it is. Ochako says. Now that I think of it, maybe we can learn some skills from books. If anything, cooking books will help me level my cooking skill. I say, turning my head to Ochako and smiling. That sounds great. Oh, and we earned money from your quirk, that means we can buy some of them. She says. Yeah. I say as we turn the corner. I hope we can get a lot of EXP from the next dungeon. She says, doing her fist pump again. Oh, I am sure the EXP is what you are looking forward to. I tease with a smile. Okay, teasing her is a little embarrassing, but I am able. Probably won't do that much for now. I think feeling a little awkward after what I said. Oh, you. She says, giving me a playful push, and we both chuckle a little. Here we are. I say, stopping in front of a bookstore. We step inside. Is that a cafe setup? She says, seeing a counter with tables and chairs in front of it. Yep, the owner decided to make this place as a cafe. It is a pleasant place to read books you buy. I say. Ah, Izuku, what's up? A teen a little older than us says, coming into the main room from a room behind the counter. The teen has long teal hair and a ponytail with pure purple eyes. Wait, you're here with a girl? Why the fuck would you go on a date to a bookstore? He has a heavy American accent. No, Tommy, this is Uraraka. She is a friend I made recently, and through some Quirk things we are getting ready for UA together. Uraraka, this is Tommy. He is a part-timer here. Well, he is going to UA as an exchange student from America. I say. Oh, so she wants to be a hero too. Tommy says, starting to laugh, to be hit on the head by a Bakken. Please stop teasing the customers, even if they are Izuku. A woman with long gray and black hair says, turning to us. Hello Izuku, you here for something new? The woman gives us a smile. Or just showing your friend around? Uraraka-san, this is Nico Rin. She is the owner of this store. Rin, this is Uraraka Ochako. I say, introducing them. Welcome Uraraka, please look around, we have a wide selection. Rin says. Actually, we are here for something with my Quirk. I say. Really, I guess it finally did something new. She says. Yep, as it turns out my Quirk pretty much turns my life into a RPG. I have stats levels, and inventory, and dungeons. There is one in your store. I say. Ah, that is amazing, that will help with your dream. Well, you have full permission to enter that dungeon, Rin says. Your Quirk is sure something. Tommy says. Yeah. How are classes going? I say. Good. Power Loader is having us third-year support students design new gear for certain heroes. I got native, so it is something, he says. Native, that might be tough, seeing as he goes far into the roots from his mother's side for his motif. I say. You know me, though I like a challenge. I feel sorry for one of my classmates, they were assigned the last victim of Stain. He says. Oh, will he be given a new hero? I say, noticing the dungeon entrance by the checkout counter. No, these designs don't often get picked up by the heroes anyways. He says, and I walk over to the dungeon entrance. Well, at least he will still be able to get a good grade. Uraraka, it is over here. I say, seeing her walking over to me. Ah, that section. Rin says. By the checkout counter is a special section of books that are some of Rin's current recommendations. It changes from time to time. Makes sense, that section is pretty much a repetition of this store. Tommy says, I reach out and touch the ripples. Rin's bookstore, LVL1. When we get into the starting room, I am surprised. The room is a wooden room like the hardware store, but in the corner is a lamp on a round wooden table with two very comfortable looking recliners and a bookshelf to either side filled with books. Oh, this is nice. Ochako says, walking over and falling into one of the chairs. Oh God, this chair is so soft. Maybe we should sit down for a minute. I say, and walk over, sitting in the other chair the way the chairs are. Our feet are almost touching. Oh, you are right, this is the softest chair I ever sat in. I say, pulling out my water bottle with the glass cup again, placing it close to her. Ochako smiles while taking the cup and taking a sip from the cup. Still cold, nice. She says, and I turn and see a book Rin keeps suggesting to me on the shelf. I reach out and pull it off the shelf before it hits me. Oh, you can grab the books off these shelves. I open the book, noticing it is in fact a full book. Yeah, this is interesting. I say, reading the first few pages. How long are we going to sit here? She asks. I pull my phone out and set a 5-minute timer. 5 minutes. I say, and watch her grab a manga off her shelf. Fruit basket. A friend suggested it. She says. Ah, Rin suggested this one. I say, showing the cover. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Lightning Thief. She says. It is a suggested pre-Quirk series. Rin loves pre-Quirk literature. I say, opening the book back up. 5 minutes later. My alarm goes off, making both of us jump. Oh, there is the timer. I say, standing and without thinking, try to put the book into my inventory. A box appears. Not an item that can be removed from the dungeon. Oh, that is good to know. I say, placing the book back with the rest of its series. Yeah. Ochako says, and we both change and pull our weapons out. Going to need to buy that book now. I say, walking to the door. Yeah, I was enjoying that manga. She says as we open the door. It is a hallway with bookshelves. Okay, so it is lined with books, makes sense. I say, walking into the hallway. Did you expect something else? She says, walking into the hallway, and something jumps out in front of us. Is that an origami tiger? Yep. I say, because right in front of us is a life-sized origami tiger. Probably weak to fire. She says, and I throw a ember at it and watch it do 10 damage, killing it instantly. Oh, this will be an easy one. I say, stepping forward as a life-sized origami crane appears. Are they all going to be origami creatures? She says, bring her hammer down, flattening the crane. Maybe. I say, looking down, seeing a lot of origami creatures and the boss door with a door to the side halfway through. We can see the boss door. I say. Oh, this is a short one. She says as we move forward, use casing spells, taking out all the origami creatures. We stop in front of the door. This is easier than the LVL0 dungeon. I say, opening the door to see a man in the room looking confused. He is on the taller side with moss green hair, scar on his left eye, black eye, a green kimono with 3 swords in the sash. Hello, do you two know where the bathroom was moved to? I was on the ship, then all of a sudden here. The man says. No. I say. Too bad, bye. He says and walks out of the room. That was weird. I say. Yeah, was he a part of your quirk? Ochako asks, and a box appears. No. Then how did he get here? I ask. He got lost. How does someone get that lost? She asks. No clue. Let's just see what is in the chest. I say, stepping into the room, ready to forget that event. I walk to the chest and tap it just as Ochako rushes up to me. Oh, you got there first. She whines. Items acquired. Common, skill book, Taekwondo LVL1. A skill book. I say, opening my inventory and tapping the book. Would you like to learn skill Taekwondo LVL1? Yes/no. Yes. I think, and the book disappears. Hey Uraraka, what did you get? I ask. A book on grappling. Ochako says with a shrug. Oh, that could be useful. I say, opening skills to see it grayed out. I tap it. Common, Taekwondo LVL1 required universal, basic kicking, LVL10. Oh, it is locked. I say. That sucks, why is it locked? She asks. I need level 10 in basic kicking. I say, turning to the door and walking forward. Maybe try kicking things. She says. Yeah, I will do that. I say, walking out of the room, looking around to see the random guy was gone. He is no longer here, wonder where he went. I say, and a box appears. He got lost and left the dungeon from somewhere else. Okay, I don't know what to think about this. I say. You think we will ever see him again? Ochako says, and a box appears. Maybe he gets lost a lot. At least your quirk didn't make us fight him. That would have been terrible. I don't want to know why he had 3 swords. She says. Maybe it has something to do with his quirk. I say, and a box appears. He is from a world without quirks. Wait, he was from a different world? I ask. He gets really lost. You know what I think, anymore will just confuse us. I say, turning to Ochako, who has swirls in her eyes from trying to understand things. how about we fight the boss? I say to try and pull her attention away from trying to make sense of the random man. Wait, we don't even know who that was. She says. I say it is better we didn't at this point. I say and walk to the boss door. Only 20 enemies this time including the boss. She says and I open the door. Inside is a origami man with a paper sword. Analyze. I think. Paper Samurai, LVL1. HP, 100/100. Okay, so the same health as the others. I say getting ready. I will say this is the most relaxing music yet. She says and I turn to her. Music? I ask. Wait, did you not open the settings and turn on the music? She says turning to me and surprised. Settings? I ask. Look in the bottom left of your vision. She says with an oversized sweat drop that shouldn't be visible. I look to the bottom corner to see a barely seeable gear in the corner. Oh. I say tapping it and a box pops up. It shows a few sliders with different audio settings. One of them is the only one off as background music. I turn it up and the music starts. It is something you would expect to hear around a Zen garden ready for meditation. When did you notice this? Well, we were eating. She says. Okay, let's get this thing. I say stepping forward and the boss notices us and raises its sword. I toss my scythe up and use the wind sphere and ember combo. Sending it out. The boss runs at us right into it taking 25 damage. I guess we shouldn't be surprised that low-level enemies aren't smart. She says. Uraraka, it is on fire now. I say seeing the boss is in fact on fire with a fire icon next to its name. Oh, it is taking damage. She says and the boss is losing 1 health a second. It will die in less than a minute. I say catching my scythe that finally came down doing a spin with my scythe knocking the sword out of the boss's hand and slice at the thing's head taking out some more of its health and placing in line for Ochako to slam it to the ground with her hammer. I use ember talking out the last of its health. Okay, why the fuck was this dungeon so easy? She says, seeming annoyed. Then she covers her mouth releasing what she said. Sorry, I didn't mean to let that out. Ha! I say taking a moment to realize it. Are you embarrassed because you said fuck? I chuckle at her reaction. I have spent my life with Katsuki, cussing was common even when we were 2. You don't care. She says, looking at me with surprise. I don't. I have been around someone who swears every other sentence it seems. Someone else swearing won't affect me. I say giving her an understanding smile. Oh, I do cuss a bit but that's mostly because I was raised around construction workers. She says with a smile. I will say if you are ever around my mom I would suggest not swearing she even gets on her adult friends about it. I say and chuckle. Okay. She says looking a little sheepish. I doubt I will meet her. She mumbles out. Uraraka, you live in the building next to ours. I say and she seems to freeze. Wait, what? Ochako says surprised. Yeah, it is on the opposite side but I live in the building next to yours. I say walking towards the chest. What are the chances? She says and noticed me at the chest. No, you don't do it right, she starts when I tap the chest and do the pose. Oh, never mind. She says as the reward list pops up. Rin's Bookstore, LVL1 complete. Universal, random skill book. Universal, random spell book. Uncommon, medium magic stone. First time clear rewards. Common, spell, gust, LVL1. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. 5 attribute points. Additional rewards. 200 EXP. Teleport out. Rin's Bookstore. We appeared right where we entered looking at the bookshelf. Oh, there it is. I say as if we didn't just appear out of nowhere, reaching out my left hand grabbing a copy of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Lightning Thief. Midoriya, we forgot to change. Ochako says. Oh wow, I was wondering what it would be like when you got out. Wait, did you guys change in there? Rin says from behind the counter next to us. My quirk allows us to change quickly. I say, putting my scythe away and changing back to my tracksuit. Oh, that is convenient. She says. Yep, I say, placing the book on the counter. Finally reading it. She says. Yeah. I say, pulling my wallet out and paying for it. So let's go to the next dungeon. Ochako says. Okay, let's see. I say, opening the dungeon map. Okay, this is the closest. I say. Bobby's Lumber Yard. LVL 1. It is a lumber yard at the edge of Muzutafu. I say with a sigh. Is it Bob's? Rin asks. Yep. I say. Well, have a nice day. Rin says. See you, Rin. I say as I walk out the door. Wait, how far away is it? Ochako says, running up beside me. It would be best for us to take the subway. I say, heading toward the closest terminal. Oh, at least we've been earning money from the dungeons. She says, falling in step next to me. Yeah. I say with a sigh. Knowing it will take us 30 minutes by train and 10 minutes of walking to get there. Bobby's Lumber Yard. We stand in front of the lumber yard. It is a fairly large open area that has a ton of different planks for people to buy under roofed sheds with one wall missing and an inside area for people to pay by the front. I look around and see someone I was hoping wouldn't be on the clock. We should find the entrance. I say without hesitation and turn away from the yard to try and see if it is around us. Look what we have here. A man says behind us. I look over my shoulder to see the one person I didn't want to see us walking towards us. Midoriya, the dungeon is on the sign by the road. Ochako says, and I sprint from the building to the sign and I touch the entrance and we disappear. Bobby's Lumber Yard, LVL 1. Okay, you seem to want to get out of there fast. Ochako says when we appear in the dungeon. That guy in particular isn't fun to talk to. He makes a bunch of inappropriate comments about my mom and what he wants to do with her. He also will do that with any woman he finds. The problem is only men remember what he says. Females seem to find he never said anything inappropriate. I don't want to know what happens if he catches a girl at night alone. I say with a sigh. Oh, that is. She says. You will remember a conversation with him, so if you ever run into him, please tell me. You are my first friend since I was 4 and I want to make sure you're safe. Also, don't hesitate to use your hammer on him. I say, summoning my scythe, then notice something. Oh wow, look at this place. We are standing in front of a wooden door with something on it. 0 of 58. Around the door is a birch log wall that seems to block us out of the area. Inside I see what looks like an old-fashioned sawmill building. Behind us is an open forest with birch trees. Wow, the first dungeon with an open area. I say. I mean, we should have expected it. Ochako says, tilting her head, then there is a howl. Oh, wolves in the forest. I say, then notice one at the edge of the small clearing, but it isn't moving forward. Oh, the clearing is a safe area. That's good to know, she says, and the wolf howls at us. You think the door is locked by how many enemies are in the area? I say. Maybe. She says, walking to and bringing her hammer down, crushing the wolf. So they have 10 health, I say, looking at the door. 1 of 58. Yep, there are 58 enemies here. I say with a sigh. Oh, that means we have lots of enemies to fight. She says, then she tilts her head. Are some of the trees glowing? I look into the forest and some of the trees are glowing. Yeah, some are glowing. I say, walking past her into the forest up to a tree and touching the tree for a box to appear. Lumber axe required to collect resources. Oh, we can collect resources from this, probably for crafting. I say. Crafting? She asks. Oh yeah, when I did the equipment dungeon this morning I got a workbench for crafting. I say. We also got that woodworking things. She says, pulling her lumber axe out and hitting the tree for a box to appear. 20%. Looks like you will need to hit it 5 times. I say as she takes her swings. The tree disappears, but I notice something. I didn't get anything. Oh, that's interesting, I got some birch logs. She says, putting them in party storage. That means only one person can gather a resource. Then I notice something above the log. 45 seconds. Oh, maybe the trees respawn and this might be a low-level resource. I say, tuning away from the tree. We should hunt down the enemies of this area. Yeah, let's go. She says, running up beside me. 21 enemies later. Level up available. Oh, I got my level up. I say, clicking on the pop-up. Oh, that is cool. Ochako says. Warning, available attribute point. If you level, the points will be randomly assigned. Would you like to continue? Yes/no. No. I think, and the pop-up disappears. I need to assign my points. I say. Wait a second, what all happens when I level? I think. Leveling up when under the effects of your quirk will give 2 points to each stat, and at certain levels will unlock features. This is good to know. Ochako says, looking over my shoulder. Yeah. I say, pulling my menu up. I want to try dual welding, so getting my STR to 28 before leveling is a good idea. I think putting 13 of my 20 points in street, okay, maybe the rest in dex for the scaling. I think putting the last 7 in dex. It is annoying that I can't save these for later. I tap on an up arrow in the stats menu that seems to be the level up. Midoriya Izuku. HP 355/355. SP 180/180. MP 285/285. LVL 2. EXP 0/2500. Title, not applicable. End, 22. AGI, 17. STR, 30. Dex, 19. Int, 30. WIs, 27. Cha, 13. Luke, 12. Is there a reason you put so much into SCR? She asks. A few. One of them is I want to test dual wielding sides. I say, standing up. Oh, but how will you cast spells? She says. Oh, like this. I say, summoning a wind sphere at the tip of the scythe blade. Wait, were you just tossing your scythe up to look cool? She says. My arm is shorter than the scythe to do the combined attack. I need to have the 2 spells in the same spot. I say. I wonder if I can combine my spells. She says. Let's see, your attack spells are Star Shot and Ice Shard. Try pointing your hands together and cast both. I say, and she does. A shard of ice appears and seems to have a glow. Try to throw it. I watch her toss it and it shots off fast and on impact sends out several bursts of light that seem like her Star Shot. Seems like the ice shard absorbs the Star Shot and releases it with some refraction, meaning it splitted when the shard broke on attack. So yeah, your spells work together. I say with a smile at her. Yes, that gives more versatility. She says, smiling back to me. Now we have more enemies to fight. I say, turning to see several wolves charging at us. Yep, we still have another dungeon after this. She says, grabbing her hammer and swinging it into the closest wolf's side. Yeah, and these wolves are about as much of a challenge as any other base creature. I say, swinging my scythe, catching the next one, and it dies instantly. Later. We stand in front of the gate at the start looking at the now blank door. Looks like we got them all. Ochako says and turns to me with a smile. Yeah, but something has my attention. I say, looking to the forest. What? She says. There are 10 of those trees out there, we can build up a resource. I say, looking at the closest tree. Analyze. I think. Birch tree 1/10 times cut down today. Looks like we can cut them down 10 times a day. Giving up a resource even if we don't need it means giving up something. So you want to go to all the trees we found and chop them down? She asks, looking at the forest. Yes, think about it, this is a chance to get resources my quirk uses. There is a crafting system that has an odd mechanic if the items we received are to be believed. I say, walking up to a tree. Yeah, it might also be a good idea to level up the woodcutting skill I got. She says, and I look at her. You got a skill from cutting the tree down. I say. Yep. She says. Then let's get this done. I say. Later. We stand back in the clearing with the last tree in front of us. Why leave this one for last? Ochako says. It isn't out of the question that this spawns something. I say, taking the 5 swings at the tree and watch it disappear. After a moment nothing happened. If it did, I thought it would be better if we were together. I say, turning to the gate. Oh, before we go in, what is your experience? I ask. Oh. She says and pulls up her stats tab. 836/1000. Spend your stats. I say. POV Ochako. I look at the menu in front of me. What will do me the best? I think. Yararaka Ochako. HP 175/175. SP 200/200. MP 225/225. LVL1. EXP 836/1000. Title, not applicable. End, 15. AGI, 25. STR at 10. Dex, 10. Int, 20. WIs, 25. Cha, 20. Luke, 10. Skill points, 20. E and D would be good to boost my health. I think. 5 take it to 20. Now 15. My STR and DX are low along with LUC. If LUC helps with drops and loot, I should boost it, so 5 and each, making them 15. Yararaka Ochako. HP 250/250. SP 225/225. MP 225/225. LVL1. EXP 836/1000. Title, not applicable. End, 20. AGI, 25. STR, 15. Dex, 15. Int, 20. WIs, 25. Cha, 20. Luke, 15. Skill points, 0. That should do it. I say, turning to Izuku. Okay, let's do this, Izuku says, turning to the door and pushing the door open. Yeah. I say, moving to stand next to him as we walk into the walled area. As we walk in, I see the boss. It is just a big wolf with a scar running down the side of its head. After a few moments, like with the others, a box appears above it. Alpha Wolf, LVL1. HP 100/100. Okay, so here it is. I say, looking at the boss. Then a box appears. Special event triggered. With a sound behind us, I turn in time to see what looks like a giant tree walking through the door. It lashes out with a vine. Izuku pushes me to the side before he rolls to the side. It will probably be best for each of us to focus on one of them. You go for the wolf. I will get this tree. Izuku says, taking a stance. Okay. I say, I look at the new boss. Birchent, LVL2. HP 200/200. Fire will be best against it. I think as I charge at the wolf. Before it notices, I charge a star shot at the tip of each of my fingers on my left hand and shoot all 5 before grabbing my hammer with both hands. The shots do 10 to 15 damage each, getting the wolf's attention. It howls and I feel myself stop feeling some fear. An icon appears beside my image with the party boxes for a moment. A howl that induced short-term fear that could be a problem. I am able to move in time to jump back from the wolf, swinging my hammer to send it to the side, dealing 16 damage. Okay, you're a little harder than the ones before. I say, then notice something to my side. I look to see Izuku sending out what looks like a torrent of flame at the tree. Its health is dropping fast. I realize too late my mistake. I scream in pain as the wolf bites into the arm with my hammer before I can react. It jerks its head to the side, throwing me closer to Izuku. I look at my health in shock. 200/250. Why did that do 50 damage? I think, then see my arm, the wound is deep and bleeding. I stand realizing that my arm doesn't want to move and my hammer is floating near the wolf that looks at it. The wolf grabs its handle in its mouth and then turns to me. Oh fuck. I say as it starts to charge. Uraraka, deactivate your quirk now. I hear Izuku say behind me with effort. I bring my hands together. Release. I watch the wolf's head be dragged down by my hammer just as Izuku charges past and brings his scythe at its neck, killing it. Before it fully disappears, he is in front of me. He kneels next to me. Show me, he says, and I pull it up before him. I see his eyes glow. No serious damage from what I can see now. Let's take care of this. His hand moves over my wound and then glows green. A warm feeling spreads as my health regains. Thanks, I say as he finishes with the spell and his eyes glow again. No problem. When I saw 50 health taken at once, it got me worried, he says, pulling out his water bottle and the cup I have been using, and pours me a cup. How was the fight with the tree? I ask. It was slow. Attacked infrequently and was weak to fire, he says. What was that you used on it? I ask, taking a drink from the cup to happy for the cold water. I got a spell called Gust. I combined that with Ember. I just kept up a continuous stream of fire. It died pretty fast now. How did that happen? He asks. I made the mistake of getting distracted by you sending out a stream of fire, turning the tree into a bonfire, I say with a blush of embarrassment. Well then let's change and get the loot, he says, and I look to see the chest in the middle of the room. It seems to have a slight glow. I switch back to my tracksuit and stand and walk up next to him. At least this shows you have my back, I say, catching up. Of course, and I am trusting you with mine, he says, giving me a smile. The smile gives a warm feeling, a nice and comforting feeling. I am glad I went on the walk. The money from his quirk will do a lot to help my parents, but he is nice to be around. I am glad to call him a friend. I think as he taps the chest, he does the stance and gets a chuckle out of me as the rewards box appears. Bobby's Lumberyard LVL 1 complete. Universal, Birch Log X10. Uncommon, Medium Magic Stone. Rare, Large Magic Stone. First time clear rewards. Universal, Lumber Bench. Universal, Planer. Universal, Router Table. 10 attribute points. Additional rewards. 500 EXP. Teleport out. Bobby's Lumberyard. We appear by the sign. Okay, we should probably move. Izuku starts before someone speaks. Well, if it isn't Midoriya, too bad that fox of a mom isn't with you. Oh, but you do have a cutie with you, a voice says, and I turn to see a man who comes up to Izuku's chin. He has hair that is slicked back, teal hair that shows too much hair gel. He wore a white button-up and black dress pants. Please not now, Izuku says, turning to the man with a frown. Oh come on, it isn't like anything will happen. Even if she has a decent rack and might be a good lay, the man says, giving a look at me that sends chills up my spine. Before I can respond, Izuku summons his scythe and swings it at something in front of me. I look down seeing his scythe and a weird purple creature on the ground. I suggest you stop using your quirk on people. Unless you want things to get unpleasant. Izuku says with a frown. Is that a threat? The man says, giving an annoyed look. No, I say, summoning my hammer. It's a promise. I watch his face turn white and he walks away. I put the hammer away. Oh right, first the points. I say, opening the stats screen. Okay, so what should I boost STR and DX? Maybe yeah, with scaling those will help and maybe help more things. I think as I put in the points then hit the level up option. Uraraka Ochako. HP 330/330. SP 245/245. MP 245/245. LVL 2. EXP 336/2500. Title, not applicable. End, 22. AGI, 27. STR, 22. Dex, 22. Int, 22. WIs, 27. Cha, 23. Luke, 17. Skill points, 0. Okay, there we go. I start, then a box pops up in front of me. Title earned. Universal, Novice Celestial Mage. By reaching level 2 with level 5 in Celestial Magic you have earned this title. Title item earned. Uncommon, Celestial Spirit Key, Selim. Yes, this is from Fairy Tail. Yes, this is going to be a thing. Oh, I got a title and an item. I say, opening my stats screen and clicking on the title. Title, Universal, Novice Celestial Mage. While this title is equipped, celestial spells cost 10% less and gain a second slot for celestial summons. I like this title. I say, equipping my title, then I open the inventory and see a fancy silver key. I click on it. Uncommon, Celestial Spirit Key, Selim, channel mana into the key to summon a spirit to aid you. Cost 200 to summon, 80 is cut to keep in the world. With celestial affinities, 50 to summon, 20 is cut to keep in the world. Oh cool, maybe we should test it in the next dungeon. Izuku says, having us turn onto a trail into the forest half a mile down the road. Oh, the last dungeon is up this trail. I say, matching his pace. Yeah, we are probably 10 minutes out. Izuku says. What is it called? I ask. Level 1 Resource Dungeon, LVL 1, so I am guessing this will be like the last one with a lot of resources to gather. Good thing these are going quickly. He says. Yeah. I say with my usual fist bump. Outside a cave in the forest. POV Izuku. So this is a resource dungeon. Ochako says, looking at the cave, the dungeon entrance waves are just to the side of it. Yep, the basic equipment dungeon is in my closet. I say, waking up and noticing something. Is that a drop-down option? I say, touching the new option that wasn't there on anything I can remember. I watch as a dungeon selector showing that there is a resource dungeon for every level, but only level 1 is available. Oh, all resource dungeons are here. I say. Why is level 2 blocked out when we leveled up? When I say that, a box pops up. Once leveled up you can only enter new dungeons after midnight. Okay, that explains that. Ochako says from over my shoulder. Yeah, let's get in. I say, touching the entrance. Level 1 Resource Dungeon, LVL 1. Again we appear in a clearing with a birch forest behind us and a cave with a sheer rock cliff in front of us. Oh, this looks fun. Ochako says, slowly spinning to see all around us. Well, let's check for trees. We do this quickly, but if we take too long. I say. Yeah, we have been doing this for almost 4 hours. How are we going to be able to do this daily with more dungeons? She says, then takes a stance. Does this mean we will have to pick and choose dungeons to maximize time? She pouts before a box appears. I move to read it. After first entering a dungeon, you can enter a dungeon from anywhere and return to the spot entered no matter where you are. Okay, that will save time, but what about how long they take? Eventually we will need to research that out. The longest we took in a dungeon is 20 minutes to get through. She says. Yeah. I say with a sweat drop, then realize something. And open the settings and see something that I thought I saw. Dungeon time dilation, 1/ question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Okay, maybe we can have something to save time. I say, touching a slider and moving it a tiny amount. Time dilation set to 1/2 speed. 1 minute in the outside world is 2 minutes in a dungeon. Okay, I saw that earlier and it said 0/ question mark. Question mark. Question mark. I say. You will gain a point into time dilation. Every level you can gain tokens that will increase it further. That is good to know. Ochako says with a smile over my shoulder again. Yeah, they haven't been dungeon rewards, but this also seems more valuable than low-level dungeons. I say. So let's GE. She starts then stops. Midoriya, there is now an enemy counter, it shows 2 bosses. When she says that, I notice it below. What are the visible party bars? Minions 100/100. Bosses 2 out of 2. Oh yeah, I am guessing that is a feature of leveling up. I say. Enemy count was unlocked after entering a dungeon after reaching level 2. Keep forgetting it will answer things that aren't actually questions. I say with a slight sigh. After I say that, there is a loud roar from the cave and one from the forest. You think those are the bosses? Ochako asks. Probably. I say. I guess this is supposed to be the hardest dungeon at this level. She says. Last dungeon we unlocked a level 2 boss. I say, looking at her. Wait, do you think we will again? She says, looking at the slightly glowing trees. Maybe. I say, looking towards the forest, noticing something that looks like eyes watching us from a bush. There is something out there. There is something in there as well. She says. I look over my shoulder to see into the poorly lit cave, seeing what is unmistakably a goblin. It is about 2.5 foot tall with skin an odd shade of green. It is wearing leather shorts. The goblin had a shield made of bones and a crude-looking short sword made of copper. It's a goblin in the cave, but what is in the forest? I ask. Oh, it's coming out of the bush. She says. I turn and see a creature the same height of the goblin, but it is a rat standing on 2 legs with a leathery loincloth and leather strips crossing its chest with pads on its shoulders. Its fur is a sapphire blue. It has a pair of daggers that seem to be made of stone. Analyze. I think in a box appears above the creature. Rat Cobalt, LVL1. HP 10/10. We got goblins and kobolds. I say, looking back and forth. Well, what do we do first? Forest or cave? Ochako says. I would say the forest, it is more open. I say, stretching and summoning my weapon and changing my outfit. Okay. She says, doing the same while pumping her left fist. Let's go, I say, heading to the cobalt. When within range I swing, slicing it and having it disappear. Looks like we got strong enough to make the lesser enemies even easier. She says as we move into the forest. Let's check this tree. I say, pulling an axe out and taking the swings at the first slightly glowing tree. When it falls, I see there is no regrow timer. I look around and notice that 1 in every 5 trees seems to glow. It isn't regrowing, she says, running her hand over the new stump. Looks like there are more that can be cut down. If I had to guess, that they are not growing back is a small thing compared to the fact there seems to be 10 times as many to cut down. This dungeon will take a while then. She says as we move to the next tree. We don't know how big the area is or where the boss is. I say, and sense detect activating, telling me of an enemy within range, so swing my scythe at a cobalt that jumped from a bush. I look at Ochako to see her with a look of fear and confusion. How did you know that was there? She yells, running up to me to check over me. During an earlier fight I got a skill called Detect. It allows me to feel any enemies within 3 meters of me. I say. Okay, that is useful. she says as she straightens up after making sure I was okay. Yeah, I don't know how I got it. I say, moving to the next tree. That sucks, I want it. She says, sounding just as cheerful as she has all day. I am sure you will figure it out. I say as I swing at the next tree. Later. This is different. I say, looking into a field that seems to be at the edge of the forest with a sheer cliff at the other side. You think this will be where a boss is? Ochako asks, tilting her head next to me. Maybe. I have no clue how we passed this. We cleared the forest and have cut the minions in half. That means we probably have defeated those in the forest. I say, looking into the clearing. Is it possible this was hidden until we beat all the enemies in the forest? She says. Maybe, so you ready? I ask, getting ready to move forward. Yep. She says and follows me into the field. A sound of crashing pulls our attention as a wolf with what looks like a saddle rushes into the forest with what looks like a lizard man on its back. Analyze. I think, looking at the new creature. Lizard Cobalt, LVL1. HP 100/100. It seems to be a different breed of Cobalt. I say, changing focus to the wolf. Wolf Mount, LVL1. HP 100/100. There seems to be two of them? I say, noticing the Cobalt is getting off the wolf. Then a box appears. You have encountered an enemy with a mount and both need to be defeated for it to count. Oh, that makes this harder. Ochako says, looking over my shoulder. I am not sure which one is harder. I say, trying to figure out what to go after. The wolf is mine. She says. Uraraka. I say, looking at her out of the corner of my eye. I made a mistake with the last dungeon, I need to make up for it. She says, gripping her hammer. If I had to guess, based on it being a mount, it might do something later in the fight, so be careful. I say, moving towards my enemy. So far boss's fighting patterns are fairly simple, is it because these are low-level dungeons? I think. The Cobalt charges at me, pulling out a great sword and holding it with two hands. As soon as it is within range, it swings. I roll to the left, twist as I pop up and bring my scythe into its side with a swipe, knocking it away. I see its health go down by 15 points. I back up, throwing a wind sphere at it, dealing another 8. The creature turned to me, growling. This thing is too predictable and makes sense for a low level. I think, moving in and getting another strike for 13. I see the creature swing and kick off with my left, sending me far enough to dodge the attack. I notice a pop-up but ignore it. I slash the creature, doing another 10. The range of damage seems pretty broad. I think. The creature hisses at me and does a wide slash with its sword. I twirl my scythe and have the shaft hit the blade, knocking it away. I swipe with the scythe and watch it do 20 with the word crit appearing. A crit that doesn't seem to happen too often. Watch out. I hear Ochako yell. I turn and see the wolf charging me, so I roll to the left. I watch it pass me and the Cobalt grab the saddle and swing up onto it, returning to its mount. Then I notice the wolf has taken no damage. Damn that thing. I turn to Ochako, seeing she seems annoyed. What happened? I ask. It ran and dodged, it didn't try to fight me. She says, watching the wolf with rage. Then it probably wasn't supposed to do anything until now. I say, sending a wind sphere at the pair that is running a circle around us. Wish I knew that before. She grumbles, trying to hit them with star shots. Hey Uraraka, why haven't you used your new item? I ask, and she looks confused for a second, then slaps her face. I forgot about it. She says, summoning the key. After a second, she raises the key, holding her arm straight ahead of her. Open gate of the chisel, Selim. After saying that, a mechanical sphere with white halo appears. Okay, this is cool. Ochako says, then turns to our opponents. Okay, Selim, attack those two. When she says that the sphere seems to split and extend for a couple inches, something pops out that looks like a cannon when the halo moves and stops around the end of the cannon. A pair of legs appear, giving it a stable base. A half circle of its top pops up and turns with two spots that might be an aiming assist. Then out of either side a oval section that looks like they could be handles. Oh god, that is awesome. The summon seems to be charging. Looks like it needs to charge to fire, so we should attack then. I say, noticing our enemies change path. I jump forward, grabbing Ochako and pulling us out of the way. Thanks, she says as we get to our feet and look at our opponents in charge. The wolf now seems more willing to strike with its rider and charges at us again. I swing my scythe, hitting it in the side. Ochako swings up with her hammer, striking the wolf in its chin, leaving an opening that I take, slashing at its belly. Together we just dealt 50 damage, taking the wolf to half. The wolf seems dazed, so I take the opportunity to attack the rider, dealing another 12. As soon as I back up, I watch a beam of light hit the Cobalt, dealing the rest of its health. The wolf seems to notice its rider die and looks between all of us. Well, now it is just the wolf. I start and the wolf runs off and disappears into the forest, and a notification appears. Mount has fled the battle. Did it really just run away? Ochako asks, more annoyed than before. Some mounts will flee when its rider is defeated. Well, at least it counted. I say, noticing the boss counter dropping. So we need to move on to the cave at the start. She says, looking at me. Yeah, I say, and move towards the spot we entered. Later, we make it back to the clearing, looking at the cave. Looks like the goblin went back inside. Ochako says. The cave looks dark, so we will need light sources. I say, turning my head. Okay, now who has one? She says, seeming confused. I guess I can do this. I say, using ember to hold a flame in my hand. I won't be able to use any other spells. I watch her open the magic menu and seem surprised. Oh, I have a spell, she says, and I notice a sphere of light appear next to each of us. Starlight, it makes light sources that follow us. Let's go, I say, stepping into the cave. A few meters into the cave, I notice something to my side. Analyze. I think. Copper or vein 1/1. So the cave has metal for us to use. I say. Okay, she says, pulling a pickaxe and start to mine the ore. You think there will be a side door for this cave? We didn't for the last dungeon, but who knows? I say, watching the wall change. Analyze. I think. Copper or vein 0/1. Looks like we will get one ore per vein. I say, placing my hand on the wall and looking around the tunnel. It seems that this cave is just big enough for me to use my scythe. Haven't thought of this before, but maybe I should use the cestus to take care of smaller areas. I think. Let's go, Ochako says and walks forward. Later. Well, this must be the boss room, Ochako says, looking into a large cavern at the end of a straight tunnel. Yeah, this has been the longest hallway yet, I say, looking into the room. In the room is a large goblin with dark green skin. It is wielding a club and wearing worn brown pants. Analyze. I think. Hobgoblin, LVL1. HP 100/100. So this is the boss, Ochako says, stepping forward into the room. Yeah, it looks like it, I say. So let's get this done, she says, getting into a stance to charge. Actually, would you mind if I handle this one? I say. Why? She says as I switch to the cestus, noticing it appears on both hands. My scythe is pretty big. If I am in a small area, I can't wield it properly. Oh, that makes sense, my hammer is too big for some areas as well, she says, sad. Well, we gathered crafting things, maybe I can make hammers small enough to be wielded in one hand, I say, keeping an eye on the boss. Oh, like Mjolnir, she says. Yeah, I say, moving towards the boss and take up a poor boxing stance. Okay, let's see if that time researching boxing comes in handy. I think moving into the range of the boss. It swings down and I roll to the left. Go Midoriya! Ochako yells from the sideline. I move in and am able to land 3 hits before the boss recovers. I am able to hit faster with these, but I have no range. I move in and see the boss does the same swing, so I proceed to do the same strategy. Later. Well, that was a nice experience for this weapon. I say, putting the weapons away. Yeah, and it was interesting to watch. Ochako says, walking up to me with a bounce in her step. Still doesn't feel the same as my scythe. I say, frowning. Maybe you can find or make a comma. She says, bouncing on her heels. Maybe that might be a good choice. I just need to hope for things to process the ore. I say, touching the chest that appeared after the boss. I look towards Ochako's smirk and take the pose, making her giggle. Level 1 Resource Dungeon, LVL 1, complete. Universal, Birch Logs X10. Universal, Copper, or X10. Uncommon, Medium Magic Stone X2. First time clear rewards. Universal, Basic Mini Smelter. Universal, Basic Mini Forge. Universal, Basic Small Anvil. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Additional rewards. 200 EXP. Teleport out. Outside a cave in the forest. So that is all for the day, I guess. Ochako says, starting down the path back to the street. Yeah, dungeons reset every day. I say, catching up to her. So going straight home? She asks. No, want to restock on food items. I say, pulling my bottle and a cup. I fill it and give it to her before taking a drink from it. Oh, okay. She says before taking a drink from her cup. Yeah. I say. Later. Midoriya apartment. And there we go. I say, finishing with a pink bottle like mine and making a few different food items. Now what time is it? I say, looking at the clock to see it is 2 hours till I need to sleep. Okay, let's try and set up some of the workstations. I think walking to an empty spare room. I still didn't expect Mom to clear this room out for me. She only knew about the workbench this morning. I move around and open my inventory and click on the bench. Would you like to place the workbench in the room? Y/N. Yes. I think. A transparent variant appears. Oh, this will make placing things easier. I notice it moves just by me, thinking I move it to a corner. Okay, how do I place it? Would you like to place? Y/N. Yes. I think, and the workbench becomes solid. Okay, maybe the woodworking stuff next. Later. I look at the room, the wall by the door. It goes from the corner to the door frame without getting in the way of the door. Along the second wall from that corner were the woodworking items that went from flush with the workbench to the other corner. This room will work well for this. I think, looking at the setup. Maybe some shelves along the next wall. I look into my inventory to see the metal working things. These say they are small. Click on them to have their transparent forms appear to show each small enough to fit into a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot space. Maybe I should use the woodworking stuff to make shelves and a table to put this on. I walk over to one of the workbenches and a GUI pops up along the top, or tabs for everything placed in the world. Oh, do they all connect somehow? As I think that, a box appears. Crafting stations connect to each other if in contact in some way. Shelves count as a storage option and continue the connection. Good to know. I start to consider options. Oh, if I make a desk that is big enough, then add a shelf back to it, I can make that my working station. Then maybe shelving that goes to the corner and goes to the door but leaves enough room for an entry to the room. Also, I should get the wood from Uraraka. I open the party menu and tap the party chat. A chat window appears and a digital keyboard. Midoriya Izuku, hey Uraraka, can you put the wood and or you got into the party storage so I can use them to set up a crafting room? I look at the chat window and notice an option for a voice call and video call. Hopefully nothing happens with these options. Uraraka Ochako, oh god, that popped up and scared me. Sure, I don't have room in my apartment for a room like that anyways. I smile looking at the message. Midoriya Izuku, this feature of my quirk is useful. Uraraka Ochako, wait, there is a voice and video option that could be useful if we just want to talk. Midoriya Izuku, yeah, well, I need to finish setting up the room before it is time to go to bed. Uraraka Ochako, is it a little early for that? Midoriya Izuku, we are meeting Yagi-sensei, remember? Uraraka Ochako, oh right, well I guess I should turn in for the night. Good night Midoriya-kun. Midoriya Izuku, good night Uraraka-san. I smile at the message and return my attention to setting the room up. Later. I look at the setup for the room. The workbench and woodworking things are the same. The ore processing are on the front half of a desk I built. The desk is 1 meter tall, 2 feet wide and 5 feet length, with a shelf on the desk is 2 feet tall, 1 foot wide, and runs the length of the desk with a shelf halfway up the thing. Next to it is the recycler that seems to be made to take unwanted items and break it down into its base components at a loss of 10%. Then a shelf that goes to the corner and then continues to the point the last wall has enough room to get in and out of the room with it going to the ceiling. Okay, now let's check on how ore processing works. I think touching the station to see the GUI, there seems to be a slot to place ores. It seems to not have a slot for fuel, so let's see. I place the ore we have in the slot. We have 30 pieces of copper ore and a timer pops up showing 8 hours seconds. So 8 hours to smelt 30 ore. Guess I should go to sleep at this point. I leave the room and look around the apartment. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I head to my room to go to bed. Author notes, thanks for listening. Now with the introduction of Ochako, I will make things clear. They are the main ship, but right now it is the start of crushes. I hope to make them fall for each other believable and not forced or rushed. Some people might see it that way anyways. I don't plan to get to UA for a bit, so plan for that. Now on to something I have been debating. I have a plan for it to at least refence them being active by the time UA starts, but I don't know if people want to see a attempt at smut, so I want people's opinions, yes, no, or would people want optional side stories of it? I am going to go with a 5-man band party, so would like to see people's opinion on the other 3. They won't be added until sometime into UA. Bakugo, Mineta, and Ida are out. I honestly don't like them, Bakugo and Mineta, for obvious reasons, and Ida, I just don't like his personally. I would also like to keep it to class 1 as students. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. I am open for suggestions on this one. No, the main pairing is Izuku x Ochako. There is a chance for a multi-pairing, but I would keep it small. Anyways, I hope to see you all when I finish chapter 3 for this story.